I've heard this a lot from folks that certain things that I might recommend won't work for them because their ex is too proud to reach out to them. They're such a prideful person. They're so stubborn. There are ways that you can tell that you're having an effect on them, even if they are too stubborn, too prideful to reach out to you. There's ways that you can know that what you're doing is having an effect. First of all, if they're not contacting you in any sort of way, if the two of you aren't communicating in any way whatsoever, know that they probably are checking up on you. They probably are looking at your social media or trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together one way or another through whatever they do have at their disposal. You can't just be in a relationship with someone, spend so much energy connecting with them, building a life together with them, and then just rip it all out and not talk or interact. There's still going to be that part of you that wants to turn towards them and says, hey, what are they up to? What are they doing? How are they? So they'll look at your social media. If they can, they'll do it in a completely anonymous sort of way so that you don't know that they're looking. Obviously, people are aware that, there are ways that you can see who's looking. And people often want to keep a low key, so they're going to try to mask that in some form or other through, dummy accounts or having a friend do it or looking at what you post publicly or, gaming the system in some way or other. And I know that you're probably also keeping tabs on them too. Let's be honest. I know you are. Even if you're not supposed to, you're doing it. I know you are. So we might as well let's just go there, right? Let's just go there. So if they're too proud to reach out to you, what they're probably going to try to do is they're going to try to get you to reach out to them. What this means is they're going to try to do something to provoke you in some way. They might post themselves with someone new. They might make some sort of comment that they know is going to push your buttons in some way. They might post something where they are in a place that you have some sort of connection to because they want to elicit that response of, hey, what were you doing over there? I was just there last week. This is them trying to provoke you in some way. And what that means is that you're having an effect on them. The absence that you have in their life is something that they are feeling. They're going to try to play it cool, as most people do on social media. They're going to try to play it cool if you run into each other in public accidentally. They're going to try to play it cool because people don't want to seem too transparent and too forward with things. It's just part of how people generally behave after breakups. We don't want to seem like we're too attached or care too much because we want to save face. Somebody has to be in a pretty extreme spot emotionally to come forward in a very distraught kind of way and say, I miss you so much. I can't stop thinking about you. Because most of us, that's generally speaking not a great look. We try to put on this performance piece of, oh, look at that. I just happened to be here and look at that, so are you. Or, oh, you saw my post. Oh, well, yeah, I guess it's true. I am dating someone else. I hope that doesn't make you feel bad. And then what they're looking for is for you to lose it so they can feel, oh, look at that. You still care about me. I'm so important. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to behave in a way that's how they feel. Classic projection here. If they miss you, they don't want to come forward and say that they miss you. What they want to do is they want to know that you miss them so that they don't have to feel so bad about missing you. So they're just out fishing with their provocative posts of, I don't mean provocative in like a sexual kind of way. I mean provocative and it's trying to provoke you. And how do you respond then? Depends on where you're at and depends on where you want to go. I mean, if you're not talking at all, you're obviously going to have to start talking again. You could take the bait. Don't know if that's the best idea, but it would take you from not talking to talking. However, it would put you on your back heel where you have to justify being provoked in some way. Or you could just reach out to them in a nonchalant way of your own with some non sequitur topic or something like that. Or you could just call it out. Depends on the whole situation. Not going to give you some blanket answer that you should follow, because of course there's a lot of specifics involved. But it's something to think about. There is a certain sort of series of steps that you have to go through to get from point A to point B. And it depends on where you are in those sort of steps. If you're not talking, obviously, you're going to have to start talking. If you are talking, obviously, you're going to have deeper conversations of some sort. If you're having deeper conversations of some sort, obviously, it makes sense to meet up or to go from texting to maybe like a video chat or something like that. Or if you're meeting up in a casual sort of way, it makes sense to move up towards maybe having something a little bit more romantic happening between the two of you, or maybe having some flirting kind of behavior. You want to look not necessarily to save face, but you want to look towards what's going to strengthen the emotional connection between the two of you, because it's not the person who saves the most face ends up in the happiest relationship. It's the person who's willing to connect more on an emotional level, cut through the BS, and actually have an authentic connection that's going to be much more likely to have the great connected, emotionally centered relationship. Depends on exactly where you're at and what the next step might be. But if that is something that you need some help with, go ahead down in the description box below. You can book a call with our team to kind of go over your situation and see if we might be able to help you, see if we might be a good fit to work together. Who knows? Go ahead and tell me, what has your ex done to provoke you in the comments section below? I'd be curious to know. And of course, if you like this video, feel free to like it. And of course, I hope you take the time to follow this channel too. Thanks so much. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.